Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? What's going on? How everybody doing out there? Y'all already know what it is, and we are back again, and it's time for the Tuesday banger. It's time for the Tuesday banger, y'all. That's a lock. It's time for the Tuesday banger, and I got one. I keep a banger at all times. But like I always say before I start these videos off, though, man, I don't have no problem delivering this content to everybody that's out here working hard, working a 9 to 5. Everybody that's out here with their own business, getting to that bag the legit way. Man, I make sure y'all got something to watch in the mornings, and I promise y'all there's no problem on my end. I also have no problem making sure I'm warning y'all and telling y'all about how dangerous prison is. I only ask for one thing in the process from y'all, and that's for y'all to just stay out the way, man. I don't want nothing else. I just want y'all to live a free life, man. Because when you get in trouble and go behind bars, man, you're not free anymore, man. Everybody should know that, man. If you out here doing the wrong thing, man, just stop it, man. It's not even worth it, man. It's not worth leaving your family. It's not worth leaving your kids. It's not worth putting yourself into that predicament. Stop what you're doing right now. I'm telling you, man, like, you're going to pay for it in the long run. Nobody gets away with anything. I'm going to keep telling y'all that, man. They're going to come get y'all sooner or later, no matter if you scamming, robbing, or hustling. They're going to come one of these days and they're going to put them cuffs on you, man. Nobody gets away, not even in the movies, man. So change up what you're doing right now, man. Be smart for yourself, man. Tell yourself, man, your family means more than being in these streets, man. Because if you get locked up, you're going to leave your family, man. And that's a fact, y'all. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. It's the Tuesday banger. So what I need y'all to do with this one. Like, subscribe to y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. But it's time for business. It's time for business, y'all. And the story I got for y'all today is called Put 'Em in the Game. Part 1. Crazy story, crazy situation, but we are aware, people. We in penitentiary, man, where crazy things happen all the time. And I'm telling y'all, man, like, sometimes you have people, man, that's in there, man, like, they'll have the worst luck. And then they'll end up getting around somebody, man, that's a little bit more fortunate than them, man. Somebody that got a little paper on the street. Somebody whose family takes care of them in there, man. And they'll end up getting in a situation like that, man. But, like, you got to take advantage of these situations when you get these situations. A lot of people I've seen catch these situations usually mess up these situations, man. And that's just how I usually go. So with that being said, though, we on Lawrenceville for this, y'all. We on Lawrenceville. And I can remember being in 30 building for this, man. This is around the time, man, you know, I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I done been up there for a little second, you know, probably like in the pod now going on a year, man. This is before I got bald headed moving to sell me, man. But I went through a lot of roommates before I even got bald headed to sell me. Like, I give y'all the stories when I had the roommates when I was downstairs. But when I moved upstairs and I ended up losing a roommate, I went through a couple of other roommates, man. But I can remember this one roommate I had. I'm not even going to say where this dude is from, man. We're going to call this dude Man. Now, Man was out of control a little bit. He was one of them cellies that I thought I really was going to have a problem with. But I felt like he kind of respected. I kind of felt like he respected me out of everybody. Like, you know, he was from his own little city. He had his own stuff going on. I won't try to push nothing at him. But he came in a situation where he came in the cell where he already see the situation was you in the cell with Weezy, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I would stay out the way. I had a cell phone at the time, you know what I mean? I get a little la-la here and there. I'm not really making no noise because I'm chilling right now, but like, I'm just really staying out the way. That's all I'm doing in there and just using the jack. So when he moved in the cell with me, man, like, you know, I guess the people from his city kind of like, yo, bro, be chilling, like, you know what I mean? And he kind of probably felt like it was better just being like, you know what I mean, on my good side and on my bad side. Because if he was on my bad side, I was going to respectfully tell him he had to move. Now, the dude, man, was taller than me. He was a little bigger than me and everything, but that didn't mean nothing. That didn't mean nothing to me. I'm not saying like I'm some super tough guy or something, but I'm just like, regardless of what, when you on Lawrenceville, if you don't want your celly to be in the room with you, you got to get him out of there. So I was going to tell him he was going to have to leave. It was going to be some BS, man, but I could see that Man was one of those dudes that just was, you know, like he not really a bully, But like you could tell, like he was trying those dudes that was searching for an opportunity, and he never was going to be able to find his own. Y'all ever knew somebody like that? They got to search out for somebody else's opportunity to put them in the game or something like that. That's who he was, man. So like he couldn't really deal with himself that he didn't really have no money to score. He didn't have no money to buy no cell phone. Nobody from his city had a cell phone. Like he just couldn't really deal with it. He would come in the room and he would vent, and he'll be like, "Yeah, man, this is crazy, man. Like this." Everybody, man, ain't doing that, man. I'm trying to make moves and I'm trying to do this, man. Like, I'm trying to get my own phone. Now, I had to expose that I had a phone after he was in the cell with me for over a week. I went on and told him I had a phone, and I let him know that he can use it. You know, while we in there, not on no BS, just like, yo, you can use it. Now, I broke down the rules to him and let him know everything was everything, and that's what it was. And he was like, he was cool with that. So, like, bro had the access of using the jack. You know what I mean? Like, he knew what time it was. I had my homeboys in there, too. But at the same time, like I said, I ain't pushing nothing at him. Like, I'm just looking for a good roommate if I can keep using the phone in peace. Like, I'm not trying to do nothing else. So the dude, man, kind of, like I say, he was kind of cool with me. Like, he ended up getting cool with me. Like, you know, like I said, he'll come in the room and vent about his homeboys. They ain't doing that and doing this. Now, he had this one dude he used to hang with, man. We're going to call him Reese. Now, Reese was a little shorter than me, kind of chubby. You know what I mean? He had the little fro. This was his guy. Like, when he first moved in the pod, off the top, he was hanging with Reese. They was from the same city. You know what I mean? He was chilling with Reese the whole time. Now, Reese went on it like how he was on it. Reese went on no more like trying to bully, like, you know what I mean, poking his chest out. Like, that's the impression I got from man. Like, I still haven't seen him fight nobody, like, nothing like that. But he was a rowdy guy, like, you know what I mean? His man was like the opposite. Reese was the opposite. Reese was more like a thinker, you know, more strategic. Like, he wasn't making no noise in the pod either, but like, he just wasn't as wild as his homeboy. But they used to just chill. Him and man used to chill. Like, him and man would kick it a lot. You know what I mean? And so he would come in the cell from time to time, and I would kick it with bro. You know what I mean? That's how I ended up talking to Reese. Before man moved in the cell, I never really talked to Reese in the pod. But like now, I just started talking to him. I would come in there and kick it. He knew I had a phone as well. So like it was a decent situation. Like around this time in Lawrenceville, like, you know, you're not letting everybody know you got a phone, but at the same time though, man, like it'd be hard, like kind of like not letting people know you have a phone. Like it was to the point in there in that part around this time that everybody knew who had phones. Not for like not in a bad way or nothing like that, but just in a way of a lot of people had access to use a phone when it came to 33 pod. So like hiding it, you can do that, but like I just went on and kept it a band with the dude, man, and his man was Reese, so he had to know too, man. So the secret was out the bag, y'all. So boom, I'll let Reese rock sometime, you know what I mean? He was all right. Like I won't petty with my jack, but like, you know, they gonna respect my jack. So I would let Reese rock sometime. He was cool with that, man. So like I say, Reese was more of a thinker than my roommate. Man was more like the goon, kind of big, kind of always like bucking on the police. Sometimes, you know, I used to tell him about that. Like, look, bro, you can't always buck on the police. You're gonna make the cell hot. And he'll understand. Like, I was able to pipe him down. Pause. Like, I was able to kind of like, I was able to bring his temperature down to a point where like he would jive, listen to me when it comes to like a voice of reason. And that's why I would be to man, you know what I mean? He wouldn't even listen to the dudes from his city. And the dudes from his city was older than him, but he was bigger than them. So he just carried them like, you know what I mean? It's whatever. He would talk to them, but he wouldn't really rock with them, man. So out of nowhere, the dude Reese came to the cell one day, and this is the summertime. He was like, yo, look, there's a dude downstairs. They got some la-la. He was like, I'm trying to come up here and mess with it, dude. Weezy, is that cool? I'm like, yeah, you can come to the cell. So he seen man was up there. So he come up there. He was like, man, what's up? You trying to hit this feezy? I like to jump with you and your roommate. So I come back in the room. When I come back in the room, the dude Reese sitting at the table rolling the joint up. My celly standing up. So I came in the joint and I sat on my bed. You know what I mean? I was like, who you say you get that from? He was like, the dude downstairs got it. And he was like, nah, that ain't why I'm looking happy like this. So man was like, I was just about to ask you why you look so happy. Why you smiling up? Why you smiling? Why you rolling up? He was like, because. He was like, man, this dude I was in the jail with just got up here, man. This dude I was in the jail with just got up here. You know what I mean? I'm like, who you talking about? You know, because they city wasn't far from my city. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to say where they was from. But, you know, I'm just like, who you talking about, though? Like, it wasn't like I was trying to know him or nothing. I just was asking, like, who you talking about? He was like, white boy Tom. He was like, yeah, they just brought white boy Tom up here, man. He was like, but look, he way on the other side of the yard, man. He was like, he's supposed to be hollering at the lady to get the lady to move him over here. But he was like, man, white boy Rob, scrap, man. He was like, man, his wife, man, she drive tractor trailers, man. He was like, she own her own tractor trailers. She drive tractor trailers. She be on the road all day. All she do is talk to him, and she be on the road, and all she do is make sure he good. So he already know they count. He was like, man, white boy Tom rock with me, man. He was like, man, he'll buy me anything. He'll give me anything. So as he's saying that, I'm like, man, give you anything, buy you anything, man. Like, that was wild. So I'm like, bro, ain't nothing for free, bro. Like, you talking like, you know what I mean? He was like, nah. I was like, what, you protecting him or something? Like, he was like, nah, I ain't really protecting him. He was like, I rock with him, though. He was like, I rock with him because he looked out for being in jail. He was like, he got his wife to send me money on my books to go to commissary. You know what I mean? So he already had said we might land at the same spread, you know? So he was like for real, I just rock with him, man. So like, you know, I'm just trying to get him over here, Weezy, man. I'm just trying to get him over here. I was like, well, all right, so I get that. So we hit the Feezy, and that was that. They called standby for Child, and I dipped with the Child Hall. So when I went to Child Hall, I bump into my man. That's a 31. So when I see him, he like, yo, bro, look, I don't know if you heard. The Loud Pack been floating around. I done tamper with the Loud Pack sometime. Like the Loud Pack been floating around a little bit now. Now it's like mid, and sometimes people will get Loud Pack. This is around that era. You know what I mean? So it was like both. You'll see both joints. But it was like the mid was kind of like, like it didn't really make sense no more, but it'll still be there. It'll be like I was still messing with both of them. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Like, you know what I mean? I had to have Lala. So like whether it was Loud Pack or mid, I still was in the game, y'all. So boom. But when I seen my man in Child Hall, man, he broke it down. He was like, yo, look, I don't know if you heard yet, bro, but he was like, man, the dude was over in the Honor Pod, man. He was like, look, they got weight, bro. He was like, a dude bought a zip in my pod. I was like, a zip? He was like, he bought a zip of Loud. I was like, a zip of Loud, bro? He was like, man, a zip of Loud. I said, how much a zip of Loud go for? He was like, 800. I was like, 800? Like, to hear that price? I'm like, man, that's crazy. But like, I knew these dudes. Like, I kind of knew these dudes. I didn't know them personally, but I was like, the dude who I did the video on, the little prick, the prick from South Boston, he knew these guys. So like, that was his little, like, from his little town, you know what I mean? Like, he knew those dudes, so I met those dudes through him. So the dudes used to use the phone sometime, you know what I mean? I would let them rock with the phone every blue moon because they didn't have a phone yet. So for a while, there was no more access for the phone. They went rogue, and next thing you know, they got all the Loud Pack, you know what I mean? Now, the dude that was over there was kind of like a kingpin they was talking about from out their way. So he had it on smash. I got to give it to him, man. He came up that joint, and he turned it around when it came to like selling weight and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I tip my hat when it's time. I tip my hat to him for that because he definitely made a lot of money doing that, man. So the word that came back that they had his own, he had a dude over there, had a roller, and that's how he was getting the Loud Pack. But either way, my man told me that they had weight for sale. And that was one of the first times that I heard weight as far as in Loud Pack and stuff like that. But I was anxious to hear that, you know, but I was happy to hear that because I already knew I was going to cop. So my man was like, yeah, they selling half times and zips. I was like, for real? I was like, well, I'm going to try halftime out. My man was like, it's some decent Loud too, though. He was like, the Loud decent, you know what I mean? Ain't no garbage from where they from, whatever. He like, the junk decent. So I'm like, for real? I was like, well, I'm gonna try to get a halftime then, bro. See what's going on. If I can have me something just to, you know, make my money back. Like, just be for the sport of hustle. And I can have some Lala that I'll score like that. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes ain't able to score like that. Me, I'm able to score like that because when I get my own pack and I make money, I always put money to the side just so I can do stuff like this, just so I can keep the Lala. It's just it's just a smart way of just being able to, like, if you don't have it, you can cop. So like, I was like, I'm gonna go holler at the dude in my pod to see if he gonna holler at them. You know what I mean? If I can get the halftime. So he be like, all right, that's what's up. I was like, well, I get it, I'm gonna holler at you, bro. So he was like, bet. So I finish holler at my man, I shoot back in the pod. So when I get back in the pod, I spot dude, you know what I mean? So when I spot dude, I tell him like, yo, look, I'm trying to put it together, you know what I mean? He was like, all right, bet. He was like, get the money, I'm gonna holler. So he went and hollered at him at the top door, and he came back, was like, yeah, get the bread, I can get it for you. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it before night wreck, you know what I mean? So I got on the phone and I told my people to go get me a $400 Green Dot card, you know what I mean? So my people went and got me a $400 Green Dot card. I gave it to the little dude and I copped, you know what I mean? So when we went outside wreck, the little dude went and got it. He gave it to me while he was out there. When he put it in my hand, I'm looking at it like it was nice and it stinked, you know what I mean? So I already knew it was a Loud Pack. So when we went back in the pod, that's when I went in the sale. When I went in the sale, I was about to put the cut up. My man was coming up. The man was like, oh, you busy, bro? You busy? I was like, nah, come on. So he come in the joint, he was like, dang, boy, that joint jumping, bro. I was like, yeah, it's some Loud Pack. He looked on the table, he was like, where you get all that Loud Pack from? I was like, man, I bought it. What do you mean? He was like, man, that's a lot of Loud Pack. I was like, yeah, it's a halftime. You know, it's a halftime. He was, oh, all right, so I'm breaking it down. I was like, here, bro, we go Feezy for you and bro. You know what I mean? He was like, for real? I'm like, yeah, so I gave him a Feezy. So he was like, I'm about to roll this jump now and taste it. I was like, go ahead. So he doing that. I was like, man, I'm about to roll me one. So I rolled me one. I started hitting the joint. So I matched him, you know what I mean? Started hitting the joint as they went around. Both of us was lit. Both of us was super lit, man, because the Loud Pack was good. I ain't gonna lie, the Loud Pack was deep. So we both super lit. So as we doing that, yeah, knock on the door. I'm like, who that, bro? He went to the door, he was like, oh, that's Reese. He popped the door. He was like, come on. Reese came in the joint. Reese was like, what I got going on in here? He was like, man, that junk jumping in there. He was like, yo, the whole pod lit though. I've been smelling the junk, the whole pod. He was like, I didn't know that was y'all up here. I was like, yeah, I just caught the halftime. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, oh yeah. He was like, man, that's crazy. I was like, I just caught the halftime. He was like, where you get a halftime from? I was like, the dudes next door got weight. They selling weight. He was like, for real? He was like, man, that's a good thing. He was like, because they moving Tom over here tomorrow. I said, they moving the white dude over here tomorrow. He was like, yeah. He was like, they moving him in the cell downstairs. I was like, oh, you about to strike there, ain't you? He was like, yeah. He was like, man, I'm trying to get one of those. I was like, man, I mean, when he said that, man, I was like, yeah, man. See if he get us one of those, man. Come on, man. He was like, they got everything. They got weight. That's a halftime. What they got zips for? I was like, bro, I paid $400 for this. You know what I mean? I was like, but he want $800 for a zip. You know what I mean? He was like, man, hey, bro, see if you can, come on, man. Holla at Tom, man. Bro was like, Reese was like, man, chill out, man. Let me handle that, man. You relax, man. I'm gonna make sure we straight. Just chill out. Just chill out, man. You ain't gotta worry about that. He was like, man, oh, man, come on, man. Holla at him, man. So I'm just sitting back like, that jump crazy. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, so with the halftime I had, that jump went like this. Phew, that jump was out of here. I'm talking about I sold that jump immediately. When I say immediately, I sold that jump immediately. Immediately, I was getting rid of that jump, man. I got rid of the spoons quick. I was selling 4 spoons for $100. You know what I mean? So I got rid of that junk so fast. One dude spent $300. You know what I mean? A dude in 4-builder spent another $100. So I was done ASAP. I made my little money back, and I was straight and a couple dollars on top. So my junk was gone. So I was really chilling. Like I wanted no rush to kind of get more, but at the end of the day, I still got a little personal sack and a lot of hit. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of chilling, relaxing, not really trying to push nothing. So the next day rolled around. So when I looked up, out of nowhere, they moving the white dude into the pod. So now the white dude coming in the joint. I finally get to see who white dude Tom is. So we come in. Man, I promise you, man, white dude Tom was like a regular looking white dude. He didn't look like he liked black people or act black. He didn't look like none of these things, man. He didn't look like he was a white dude to act black. He just looked like a regular white dude. And he was older than us. So he come in, he walk in, they take him to his cell. So when he take him to his cell, I see Reese push up on him. You know what I mean? So Reese went up there and hollered at him. So like, you know, dudes that do that to kind of let people know like, yeah, he's with me. Because you have a lot of sharks that be looking at certain people when they come in the pod. And then they'll be thinking that's just you know what I mean? They can do what they want. But like Reese pushed up on him. After Reese pushed up on him, man pulled up. You know what I mean? So man was over there talking to him. So they all by his cell. Now they moved him in the cell with this older black dude. So they all over there talking to him. You know what I mean? They all over there talking to him. So as they kicking it with him, he came up. You know what I mean? He came out. And then I think I seen him because, you know, I'm standing on the top tier watching the whole thing. So I'm thinking they probably was like, yo, look, that's Weezy right there, man. That's Bro Selly. And you know what I mean? Good dude. So I seen when the white dude Tom kind of like looked up to see who I was, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, though, like, you know what I mean? You got to be careful how you tell people business. You know what I mean? That's something I got to let my celly know. But I just had caught a sign and I think they was talking about me, not in a bad way, but my name was at least mentioned. You know what I mean? So like I let that go and I just let them keep talking. You know what I mean? I let them keep talking for a minute. Then I went in the cell. So when I went in the cell, I'm in that junk just looking at the phone, looking at freaking stuff on the internet. I'm just being bored. I ain't got nobody to talk to right now. So I'm just being bored on the jack. So I hit the door. When I hit the door, when I peeked through the crack, I'm like, I seen him was man. He was like, oh, I ain't mean to scare you. He was like, come on, Reese. So Reese came. I was like, what's up, what y'all got going on? I sit up on the bed. I'm like, what's up? He was like, hey, man, look, don't be mad, bro. I'm like, what you talking about? He was like, look, man, white boy Tom say he gonna cop an ounce for us, bro. He gonna put us in the game, Weezy, man. All we need to do is get him on the cell phone, though, Weezy. You know what I mean? He gonna put us in the game, put us on the cell phone. I said, man, he gonna get $800 and give you $800 for nothing, bro. He was like, man, look. He was like, man, his wife give him anything he asked for, man. Yeah, he gonna do that for me, bro. I said, what y'all gonna protect him then? That's what y'all doing? He was like, man, nah, I'm telling you, he just rock with me. He just rock with me, man. He wanna see us in the game. I was like, man, so I gotta let this white dude use my jack. I said, man, come on, man. He's like, I'm gonna look out for you, Weezy. I'm gonna throw you something, man, I promise, man. And he a cool dude, man. I'm telling you, once you meet him, you know what I mean? I'm like, where he at? He was like, outside your door. I was like, outside my door? I was like, bro, you a psychopath? So boom. I said that because I'm like, bro, we talking loud. Like, you can hear stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like, why you? He was like, cuz, bro, it's emergency, bro. It's emergency. They say dude about to run out. I went and hollered at my man over there. He said he got one left. I'm trying to get the junk. We just started up and trying to get them on the phone. You know what I mean? I'm like, shh. I'm like, Lord. I'm like, this y'all crazy. I'm like, all right, man, tell him, come on, bro. So he walked out. Next thing you know, they come back in. He come back in with the white dude. So the white dude come in and said, he like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing good, man. He was like, yeah, man, I don't mean to freaking bust your balls. He said some old shit like that, you know. White dudes talk. He was like, yeah, I don't mean to bust your balls. Pause. He was like, yeah, I don't mean to bust your balls, but you know, they told me, man, that you know you have a cell phone, man. So, you know, my wife, she'll do anything I ask. So I'm just trying to, you know, really just, you know, make sure Reese is straight, man. You know, if Reese is straight, then I'm straight. You know, I'm just trying to help him out a little bit, man. I don't mind helping out, you know. But Reese, hey, look, man, you get this shit, man. You need to make some fucking money, man. Don't be over here bullshitting, man. Like, if you get this shit, man, make some fucking money is all I'm asking. Reese was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make plenty of money. Don't worry about that. Me and my man, we gonna make plenty of money. Man was like, yeah, we gonna make a lot of bread. We gonna make, I'm like, look at man, you ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm like, so all right, here you go, man. When my joint, like, here. I gave him the joint, like, sit right here, man. So he can't sell on my bed. He got behind the cut, get on the phone and talking to his wife. So like I say, his wife a truck driver. So like, you know, like, I guess she had the headset shit on and she had a truck or whatever the case. But he like, yeah, listen, I moved to another pod. Yeah, look, where's the nearest Walgreens? Yeah, I moved to another fucking pod. You can't fucking hear me? Cut down your music. What the fuck? Yeah, I moved to another pod. Yeah, they got me down here with my homeboy Reese. Yeah, remember Reese I was in the jail when you used to do 3 ways for? Yeah, they got me down here with Reese now, man. But yeah, but where's the nearest Walgreens on your maps? Well, it got to be in a town coming up. I can't even hear his voice. You know, he's behind the cut. I'm behind, like, we all just standing there quiet, like, I'm standing there. I see they fake, they serious. They standing there like, man, I hope he play this. I hope he pull this off. Please pull this off. I'm standing there like, he's not going to pull this off. It's not going to happen. He was like, well, look, 30 minutes before you get off the road, you got to gas up anyway. Okay, so when you gas up, I need you to find me a Walgreens. Yeah. I need 8. There won't no pushback on the 8 or nothing. Like, you thinking she was 8? He was like, I need 8. He was like, and when you get the numbers, he came behind the cut. He was like, can I get her to call back? I was like, yeah. You can call back. You can call back. She can call back. He was like, look. He was like, look. This is Reese's homeboy's phone, Wheezy. So when you call back, just give him the numbers. He's gonna give them to me. Yeah, we trying to get this last onion. Yeah. Okay. All right, love you, babe. Drive safe. Came from behind the cut. Everybody was like, Reese was like, man, well, you spoiled. He was like, man, look, all I'm saying is, man, I'm gonna take my cut. Y'all can do whatever y'all want with the rest, man. Like, I just wanna smoke some La La in peace, man. I said, oh, you mess with the La La like that? He was like, yeah, man, I don't do nothing else. Like, my dad freaking had me smoking bongs when I was 8 years old, man. I love marijuana ever since. I was like, well, all right, man, that's what's up, man. So on the phone, after he gave me the phone back, you know, we chilled for a second. They left out, man. Like, but I witnessed him putting that play together like that. I couldn't believe it, man. It was nice and simple. The man asked for $800, man, like he was asking for $5, man. And his wife didn't give no kickback, man. You know what I call that? I call that being the luckiest man in prison, y'all. So boom. No kickback from $800 asked for? It's bananas. That's bananas, but he did it. And I guess he's waiting on the joint, so they left out. So I'm chilling in the cell. So like an hour later, I feel my joint vibrate. I go back, look at it. I'm like, I look at the number. I'm like, oh, that's the number Tom dialed. I was like, it's a text message. Can you call me, please? I'm like, can you call me? I'm like, I get behind the cut. Hello? I hear all that damn noise in the background like a truck driving. I'm like, oh, yeah. You calling back for white dude Tom? I was like, oh, yeah, you calling back for Tom? She was like, yeah, you're Wheezy, right? I'm like, yeah. She was like, I was just trying to make sure. That's why I text. I was like, all right. I was like, you got that jump phone? She was like, yeah, I got it. You ready? I was like, yeah, let me get a pen. So I got a pen, and she called out the numbers. I wrote the numbers down. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna get them. You know what I mean? I brought my celly, all right, like this. I want to see them get right. You know what I mean? White dude Tom put them in the game. I want to see them get right, man. So I wrote the numbers down, hung up with her. And as soon as I wrote the numbers down, I shot straight down at her, bro. You know what I mean? They both was in the parlor looking crazy. I came downstairs. I was like, here, bro. I put the jar on the table. Tom was like, that's it? I gave it to Reese, though. I'm petty. I gave the paper to Reese. I was like, here, Reese. Reese grabbed the Jones. He was like, oh, that's the money. I was like, yeah. Tom was like, oh, that's the money right there? I was like, yeah. Tom was like, man, give me my fucking money, man. He was like one of them joking white dudes. He's like, man, give me my fucking money, man. Snatched the paper from Reese. Reese was like, man, you crazy, man. He was like, it's my fucking $800, man. He was like, now look, go get the onion. Reese was like, man, you crazy, man. So I'm like, these dudes, wow, they just crazy, man. But they handle their business. Man. I promise you, man. Probably like 30 minutes later, man came in the joint, was like, yo, look, man, can we come in here and bag up? I'm like, come in here and bag. He was like, yeah, because we don't want everybody downstairs smelling that joint. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, come on. So I was like, I'll hold y'all down. So as they were coming in, you know what I mean? They all came in. Tom was the last one that came in. So when they came in the joint, Tom was like, yeah. Tom was like this. He was like, yeah, man, I put you in the fucking game. That's what I did, man. They dropped that shit on the table. Tom was like, yeah, I put you in the fucking game.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.